I went from J.R. Lee to the Mac. And by the time I got to the Mac, I was off the chain. I was all in. Even getting a little trap money, a little dope money was too slow. I wanted to take it up a notch. I like the fast money. I like the cable money. I like going out and busting licks. And one thing I learned, even if you got a trap that's getting money, once murder, attempted murder, and blood begin to be shed, where you getting money at, the authorities coming to shut you down. And that's what happened to Hollywood Square. We used to be up under the radar. But when that blood began to get shedded, Gray Fox got a whiff of us. And back then, Gray Fox was a legend. He gonna get his man. So he started swarming in Hollywood Square on a regular basis, taking us in one by one, making it kind of frustrating and hard for us to get a little money. And then it was a case that went down that he was not happy with. He lost the case. So he took it personal. He had a personal vendetta against Hollywood Square. You know, one thing led to another. My name became a bad taste in his mouth. So I guess he wanted to make an example out of me. And that's what he did. I remember one day it had to be on the 4th of July. He kicked in my mama's house, charged me with robbery and put a pistol on me. But I beat the case. That aggravated him. That made him frustrated even more. But the zone, Hollywood Square, was still doing its thing. Everybody was still getting money, handling their business, avoiding Gray Fox when it was possible. But then a high-profile case came about. That angered Gray Fox. He wanted that case. He begged for the case. He got the case. But I had, in a million years, thought that that case was going to fall upon me. You know, I wasn't no angel. You know, I was doing my thing too. But this particular case, I had no knowledge of it before or after the fact. So to make a long story short, Gray Fox ran down on me one day and he questioned me. And he knew that what I wore across my sleeve was DBDH, meaning death before dishonor. I wasn't going to indicate nobody. I wasn't going to snitch on nobody. So, you know, like the procedure go, I went home. And a short time later, I was approached one day by a baser named Dwight. He was charged with loud and proud. He had just got out of Station 4. And he stuck to me. He said, "Look, Hannah, check this out. I just heard Detective Law, Potts, and Gray Fox talking about you. They said they were going to put the trigger in your hand and charge you as a trigger man if you did it or not. It's going to be upon you to find your innocence." But I ain't take it seriously. You know, I thought it was slick about my picture being up in Station 4, homicide and robbery. Little did I know that this was going to seal the deal for me. They're going to put me in the penitentiary for 28 and a half years for a case I had no knowledge of, the case that I didn't even commit. So one night, it was a little beef going on in Hollywood Square, and I had paper thin with me. I was en route out of Hollywood Square to going back to Paran on this particular night. I was approached by two shooters. The shots were fired on my side. By the grace of God, I didn't get a hit. Paper got hit. And Gray Fox told his family that me and him had went on a caper and that I stashed on him, shot him, and threw him out the car. That was so far from the truth. But you know, his family knew me and knew my family. They didn't buy that. But I had made a vow to paper thin that I had find out who one of the shooters was, that I was going to handle my business. I said, just watch the news, which I did. I handled my business. That was one of the cases that I was convicted on. That was enough for Gray Fox to really circle me in to put the high-profile case on me. So what he do? He run down on me again in Hollywood Square, placed a pistol on me again. He wanted to get me out the streets. Well, that was his process. That was his way of handling his business. Get me out the street for 30, 40 days while he do his little homework, swarming in a little dope hole, seeing if he could find me a weak link, anybody that can indicate me on this high-profile case, or just put me on the scene of the crime. And that's what happened. You know, even though I had got out for the pistol case, he was building up a case on me. So he knew for a fact that I was at that party that night of the shooting. But his theory was that from the party in Paran to that shooting in the Hollywood Square right by South Ridge was an estimate of a little over 30 minutes. So now what he was doing was saying, well, okay, Hannah was at this party. But they young. It's a Sweet 16 party. So I know nobody going to have no accountability of him being with them every second, every hour of that night. And that's what his theory was. It stood up in a court of law. So I remember one night, I wanted to go to the South Ridge and Killing game. So I called the boy and said, look, man, I'm going to come through a little later on. I'm going to slide through. And when I slid through, I ran into my blind fate. That was the night I went in. I ain't see nothing but Gray Fox, law, pots, SWAT, helicopters, you name it. They grabbed me. Gray Fox put me in his car and routed me to Station 4. He said, look, Hannah, you could kiss the ground because I got you. You're going to be going away for a long time. From Station 4, I was transported to the Homicide Bureau, which at that time was located in downtown Miami. They did a good cop, bad cop thing, trying to put out on me, interrogate me, trying to put fear in my heart. I told them, for a fact, I ain't no snitch. I ain't got no information for you. I ain't finna indicate nobody. Because if I did what y'all said I did, I ain't gonna never get out no way. So what's the use of me telling? So I was transferred juvenile detention center. 21 days later, I was direct fired to the 10th floor. After that, bond hearing. Bond hearing every 2 or 3 days. Case after case. And anybody who's familiar with Gray Fox, law, and pots, that's how they done us. Black, young, and dumb. Don't got no money to get no hell of an attorney. They can have the process they call clean up the books. They just take turns on putting robberies, attempted murders. If they can, a murder on you. My mother and father put together a little money that they had and obtained a lawyer named John Lipinski. But at this time, Lipinski was old. He was washed up. He didn't have enough knowledge to outfox Gray Fox, Potts, and Law. So what they was doing was they had a witness that said that they seen me prior to the shooting, 5 minutes before the shooting. Another witness said they seen me leaving the crime, jumping the wall after the shooting. I had no physical evidence that put me on the scene of that crime. I had a co-defendant that told them that I had nothing to do with it, that he wasn't there. But yet the Gray Fox and Potts believe him. They believe that I influenced him to go on this caper with me and commit this crime that I didn't even commit. Well, to make a long story short, we sat in the county 18 months. They had so much hearsay evidence against me till they made even Mr. Lipinski think that I had committed this crime. But I told him, I said, Mr. Lipinski, there's no way, there's no how I could have committed this crime. There's no way or no how that I could testify on anybody about a crime that I have no knowledge of. So I'm going to have to fight it. Or I'm going to have to lay down and wear it. And that's what it was. To this day, for many years, I hold a grudge for you, Gray Fox, Law, and Potts. But not a man that I am. I forgive y'all for y'all ignorant. Because what y'all made for bad, God turned it for good. 16, 17 years old with a de facto life sentence. But I made it through. I had my shot. I had an opportunity to work on Q-Wayne, which is death row in Florida State Prison. And that's when I gained my inner strength and my inner peace. Because I've seen men who you would think that don't give up, but they had so much will to stay alive and to fight. That embedded me, that enlightened me, that set off a trigger in my mind that went to my heart and said this: tough times don't last always. Tough people do. And I gained that script. And that script turned into a burning and desire to fight. Regardless of what the law book said. Fight. I went back to court twice. And every time I went back, to no avail, I was denied. One time I was granted. It seemed like I was resentenced to time greater than what I have got off the rip. I almost threw it in the towel. I wanted to give up. But giving up wasn't an option. I kept my head up. I kept my eyes to the hill with coming my help. I knew that my life was not going to end in the chain gang. I knew there was another part of my story. I knew I was not going to die in a penitentiary. I knew that I was going to walk free. All I had to do was trust the process and keep my faith in God. I educated myself. I got my GED. Got a trade in plumbing. Got a trade in welding. Learned the law. Spoke the law. Slept with the law. Ate the law. And what happened? The law changed. The law came out, landmark decision, that juvenile could no longer receive life for non-homicide and homicide charges. They gave all us life. It set us free. I'm free. 28 and a half years in the penitentiary. I had a chance to see my mother before she left the earth. I spent 4 months with her. So much joy. And to this day, I thank the Most High, Father God, for granting me that opportunity. If I had 10,000 tongues, I couldn't thank him enough. And I want to tell everybody at the sound of my voice, God doesn't use what you lost to bless you. He uses what you got left. As soon as my mother was laid in the ground, 2 days later, I get a mysterious phone call about a possibility that I might have a daughter. To sum it up in a nutshell, 4 months later, a DNA test was taken, and it was proven that she was mine, 99.999. And during the time up to the test, we built the bond. And right now today, we down like 4 flat tires. She loved me, I love her, and I got an 8-year-old grandson that worships the ground that I walk on. So I want y'all to know, God is good. He'll never leave. He'll never forsaken you. He brought me through some trying time. And giving up would have been so easy. But I wasn't giving up, nor was I giving in. And I knew, and I never thought that I could get on a video and tell Detective Potts, Law, and Gray Fox, I forgive y'all for being ignorant of knowing the facts that your son had killed away for a charge that he knew nothing about. But to sum it up, he refused to snitch, so he had to pay the price. It's all good because I know what I signed up for. I done that. I did that. I kept it real. I refused to snitch. I still profess my innocence to this day. My dues done been paid. I'm a new man in a new chapter in my life. Peace. God bless.